In a world where money is often seen as a source of corruption and impure power, few dare to explore the hidden path where the material and the spiritual meet and transform. This text is an initiatory journey, a descent into the depths of consciousness to redeem the vile and elevate it to the purest state of being. Inspired by the esoteric teachings of Aleister Crowley, Dirty Money, Pure Soul reveals how the forces of desire, ego, and chaos can be transmuted, like lead into gold, through the sacred fire of divine will. It is not about rejecting wealth, but mastering it from the soul, for he who purifies his intention transforms his destiny. Prepare to cross the threshold between shadow and light, where money is no longer a slave to greed but becomes a sacred tool. This is not just a text, it is a ritual of awakening. Money is nothing but the polished mirror in which each soul sees its own desire reflected. Aleister Crowley, Liber Pecunia non revelatus. Man fears money as he fears the devil or worships it as a god, but neither is entirely true. Money, in its most naked essence, is a symbol, and like all magical symbols, its power does not lie in metal or paper, but in the resonant echo it awakens in human consciousness. The monetary symbol, the coin, the bill, the digital number, or the sacred check, functions as a collective sigil. Its power is not inherent, but granted by the unconscious consensus of the masses and the conscious will of the few. It is the true inverted veil. It can corrupt or redeem. It can feed blind lust or awakened will. Money has no morality. It is neither good nor evil. To say that money is dirty is like saying that fire is impure because it burns. Fire only burns when used without wisdom. Likewise, money, mirror and amplifier of its possessor, only projects what burns at the core of being: greed, ambition, generosity, fear, freedom, or servitude. What then is dirty money? It is nothing more than money whose energy has been charged with vibrations of deceit, exploitation, hatred, fear, or betrayal. Such money not only brings outer consequences in the form of persecution, ruin, or scandal, but more dangerously, inner ones. It can lead the magician astray from his will, distort his perception, imprison his soul in the mirror of illusion. In the profane world, money laundering means hiding its origin. In true magic, cleansing money means revealing its true nature and redirecting its purpose toward the will. It is not about disguising the origin of capital, but transmuting its energy. Not about lying to the world, but speaking to it in the pure language of the awakened soul. All energy can be redeemed, even that which was amassed through deceit, the sweat of others, or manipulation, can be redirected, like a dark river, towards sources of light. But this can only be achieved if the adept is willing to submit himself first to the purifying fire of truth. For if one desires to cleanse money, one must first be cleansed from money, not to destroy it, but to deactivate it as an inner demon and reactivate it as an outer angel. This book is not for common bankers or desperate criminals. It is for those who have encountered gold on the path by chance, fate, or desire, and have felt in its glow not only temptation, but possibility. It is for the warriors of the spirit who wish to transform wealth into a tool, capital into a channel, money into a mirror, and the mirror into a portal. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. But first discover what you truly will. From Lead to Gold, Dirty Money, Pure Soul. Based on the teachings of Aleister Crowley, we've noticed that over 80% of those who visit our channel aren't subscribed. You can support this project by pressing the subscribe button and liking the video. Thank you for inspiring us to keep creating more and better content for you. Are you ready to transform your life? Chapter 1. The Hidden Origin of Money. Money is solidified blood. Wherever it flows, a will has been offered in sacrifice. Ace notae secretimai. Before the banknote existed, before gold was drawn from the womb of the earth to adorn the temples of kings and concubines, even before language organized chaos, money already existed, not as coin, but as primordial magical act, the offering. At the dawn of humanity, every exchange was a sacrifice. The tribe offered blood to the invisible god in return for rain. The hunter gave a portion of the prey to Mother Earth as a gesture of gratitude and renewal. Value was not measured in quantity, but in ritual intensity. What was offered was not the object itself, but the sacred intention behind the act. Money was then a subtle energy, a transaction between the visible world and the invisible one, a way to make will resonate through the cosmic web. Over time, that energy began to condense. The object of the offering, grains, shells, metals, replaced the gesture. The symbol took the place of the presence. Sacrifice became mechanical. Barter was born, then coinage, and finally the financial system. Thus, money descended from the altars of spirit to the markets of the world. But it did not lose its power. It merely went into hiding. Money is condensed energy. It is not an inert object, but a charged symbol. Every coin that passes from hand to hand carries more than its face value. It drags along memories, fears, promises, hopes, and curses. It is the modern container of human desire, and for that reason holds immense magical charge, even if ignored by most. Who desires money? Everyone. Why do they desire it? Because they believe freedom lies within it. But it is not money they truly desire, but what they project onto it. Power, security, pleasure, permanence. Money, then, is the mirror in which man gazes upon his own emptiness and hunger. Yet, it is also the instrument that, when used wisely, can fill that emptiness with purpose and transform that hunger into art. From tribal sacrifice to modern capitalism, there is a single thread, the one that binds desire to form. Capitalism is not merely an economic system, it is a collective ritual of desire manifestation. Banking is its priesthood, corporations its temples, advertising its gospel, and the consumer its faithful devotee. Every transaction is a magical act, albeit unconscious. Here lies the root of corruption. When the ritual is repeated without sacred intention, it becomes illusion. When the symbol is worshipped for its own sake, it becomes an idol. When money becomes the end rather than the means, the magician becomes a slave. But the initiate knows, and because he knows, he can reverse the flow. He can restore money to its original function, to be a vehicle of sacred intention. He can preserve a coin as if it were a talisman. He can direct the flow of capital as if it was sexual energy or serpent fire. He can take what the world calls dirty and reveal in it a forgotten light. Money is manifested desire. The question is not whether you should have it or reject it, but what desire you are serving through it. And if you yourself do not know which desire you obey, then you have already been bought. Chapter 2. The Curse of Gold, Fear, Greed, and Karma. Gold neither curses nor blesses. It is the soul that touches it which imprints its mark. Ace fragmentum aurum. In every coin, a story. In every bill, a whisper. In every digital number, an echo crossing generations. Money is not merely a symbol of exchange, it is a vibrational vessel. Just as stagnant water takes the shape of its container, money absorbs the emotions, intentions, pacts, and betrayals of those who handle it. What most people ignore, and what the mage knows, is that gold holds memory, and if that memory is not purified, it acts. The psychic vibration of money. Every human act leaves an etheric trace. A thought is born, condenses into desire, and if manifested in action, be it a financial transaction, a scam, a generous gesture, a bribe, or an alms, it leaves an imprint on the object involved. Money, being a constant vehicle of human desire, is one of the most charged objects in the material world. Do you think the bill in your pocket is just paper? That paper has passed through desperate hands, through thieves' pockets, through the drawers of predatory banks, the breasts of prostitutes, and the altars of temples. It carries the vibration of hunger, anguish, euphoria, blackmail, lust, ambition, and fear. It is a magical scroll written in invisible ink, the ink of human emotions. Money vibrates, and that vibration affects. A mage who does not cleanse money before using it is like an alchemist drinking from a poisoned chalice. The poison may not kill the body, but it insidiously poisons the soul. That is why many have felt that some money burns the hands. inheritances that sicken, fortunes that attract tragedy, winnings that destroy. It is not imagination, it is energy clinging, unexercised, greed, desire without rhythm. Greed is not merely wanting more, it is wanting without rhythm, without measure, without law. It is unbridled desire, without center, without purpose. In tarot, the card of greed does not exist, but its shadow is perceived in the reversed aspects of the Four of Pentacles and in the distortion of the Ace of Pentacles. Gold, which should be a route of manifestation, becomes a prison for the soul. Greed is a distortion of the principle of will. Where there should be direction, there is repetition. Where there should be flow, there is hoarding. The greedy one wants because they fear not having. And that fear, printed into every coin they clutch, infects the energy of all they touch. That is why great fortunes born of anxiety bring no peace. The greedy hoard gold like the sick hoard air. They're breathing a constant gasp. And what happens to money touched by greed? It vibrates in a frequency of lack. It activates in those who receive it a similar psychic circuit: fear of loss, desire to hoard, obsession to control. That money does not flow. It stagnates, becomes a magnet for unhappiness, a mirror of unfulfilled desires, a source of invisible conflict. Dirty money is not only that which comes from crime. It also includes money born of fear, manipulation, and hollow possession. Its dirtiness is vibrational, and only the mage can purify it. Corruption, the divergence of power. In its magical root, corruption is not merely the immoral use of money. It is the diversion of the sacred power of the monetary symbol toward ends contrary to higher will. When a ruler uses money to oppress rather than to liberate, he violates the magical law. When a priest enriches his temple but abandons his soul, he falls into corruption. When an adept diverts his creative energy toward empty accumulation, he corrupts his gift. Money in itself does not corrupt, but it is the finest vehicle for corruption because it reflects and amplifies the will. That is why the ancients said that money reveals a man, and that is why so many fall upon touching it, not because gold seduces, but because it exposes hidden desire. The mask falls. The corrupt one is he who loses his center when handling dense energy. The true mage must train to contain the intensity of money without losing his axis. He must become a channel, not a dam, a flute, not a vault. For money, like the serpent, obeys the one who does not fear it. Energetic slavery and karmic lineages. Have you noticed how some families, companies, or clans seem cursed by money? Great fortunes that vanish, inexplicable suicides, inheritances that tear families apart, businesses that collapse despite success. This is no coincidence. There are contaminated energetic lineages. Money accumulated through blood, exploitation, or betrayal creates karmic debt. That debt is not always paid through prison or scandal. Sometimes it is paid with unhappiness, emptiness, lost children, or broken dreams. In some cases, the energy of money behaves like a family egregore, a psychic entity that demands sacrifices, repeats patterns, maintains bonds. The grandson repeats the grandfather's crime. The daughter sabotages the business her father founded. The lineage becomes a stage for repetition. The mage must cut these ties, not renounce money, but liberate it from its history. There are rituals for this: words, perfumes, prayers. But above all, consciousness. You cannot redeem what you do not name. Every lineage that has touched stained money must be reconciled. It is the task of the magical heir to free his own, not by cursing or denying them, but by transforming their legacy into service. No gold is so cursed that it cannot be sanctified, but it must first be sacrificed. The karma of capital. Every coin you keep is a decision, every bill an act, every number in your account a possibility. What do you use it for? What do you feed with your wealth? What awakens as you receive it? What vibrates as you give it? The karma of capital is not only measured in what you buy or sell, but in how you do it. Does money enter your life with gratitude or with anxiety? Do you receive it with fear or with honor? Do you hoard it out of terror or grow it like a shared flame? The karma of money is the continuous resonance of your economic acts. If you use your money to enslave, you will be a slave. If you use it to liberate, you will be free. If you worship it, it will possess you. If you consecrate it, it will serve you. There is no escape from this law. Money does not forgive, but it redeems. Every coin is an opportunity to elevate your vibration or to sink further. You choose to break the curse. Money is not cursed by nature. It is cursed by the use humanity has made of it. The only way to break that curse is to restore its original purpose, to be a vehicle of conscious will, a tool of divine manifestation. To do this, the mage must purify every bill he receives, bless every coin he spends, and consecrate his wealth as if it were a living temple. He must use money as he would fire, with respect, with power, with art. In later chapters, we will train in specific rituals for this transmutation. But everything begins here, with the recognition that money is alive, that it feels, that it remembers, and that if you ignore it, it will devour you. But if you look it in the eye and make it your ally, it will become a golden lion pulling your chariot toward the sun. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. But if your will is a slave to greed, your love will be a prison, and your money an executioner. Redeem it. Redeem it now. Chapter 3, Black Magic and Wealth, Pacts and Consequences. Everything man gives to the demon returns with ruinous interest. Eis liberumbra el ususque. The desire for wealth has led men to the peaks of power and the abyss of madness. Whoever kneels before gold without knowing its sacred nature becomes a servant of forces he does not understand. When money is sought without awareness, without direction, without will, it becomes a vehicle of black magic, and all black magic comes with a price. In this chapter, we will examine the hidden dimension of wealth obtained through impure means, energetic pacts, spiritual corruption, inverted sacrifices, and the law of the pendulum that, sooner or later, demands balance. May this knowledge not serve as a manual for darkness, but as a warning for fools and a shield for the wise. Impure power and its price. There exists a universal law older than all dogma and morality. Balance is always restored. If an individual gains material, sexual, political, or financial power without having done the inner work required to sustain it, that power will destroy him. Just like a cable that conducts voltage without insulation burns out, so too does the soul that has not purified its desire burn on contact with black gold. Impure power is not necessarily criminal. Sometimes it's enough to omit, to remain silent, to accept what does not resonate with the will, but energy is not deceived. It knows when intention is aligned and when it has been sold. And once it is sold, the turkey cycle begins. This payment is not always immediate nor always visible. It often manifests as anxiety, chronic dissatisfaction, empty relationships, unexplained illnesses, sudden downfalls, invisible sabotage. The wealth that was meant to empower turns into a burden, a yoke, a cross. Such is the price of deviation. Energetic pacts, invisible alliances. Every pact is an agreement. It doesn't need to be signed in blood at a cemetery. A simple internal yes is enough. Surrendering to desire without ethics, without light, without a center, is enough. In the energetic realm, each time you betray your essence for wealth, you are making a pact. You are saying, I renounce my integrity in exchange for this gain, and the entity that hears you, be it egregore, archetype, shadow, demon, or simply autonomous desire, takes note. From that moment on, you are no longer the owner of that money. It has been lent to you. But every loan comes with hidden clauses. Energetic pacts create invisible debts. You may become wealthy with ease for a time. You may climb, shine, multiply, but you are not alone. Something else is growing with you, a shadow, a presence, an outstanding debt. And when the moment comes, the collector knocks on your door. A ruin, an illness, a family suicide, a bankruptcy, a fatal betrayal. There is no escape when the payment is due. The only way to avoid it is never to make the pact, or to dissolve it through conscious acts, rituals, sacred sacrifices, and total alignment with the true will. Spiritual corruption, the inversion of the temple. The true temple of the mage is his soul. When money is used to strengthen that temple through art, service, spiritual growth, support of elevated causes, it is purified in the fire of purpose. But when money is used to feed the ego, to dominate, to humiliate, to satisfy desire, not for expansion but for control, then the temple is inverted, becomes a den, and the soul a slave to gold. Spiritual corruption needs no great crimes. Sometimes it is enough with small repeated concessions. Lies we justify because it's business. Collaborations we accept because everyone does it. Silences in the face of injustice we tolerate because it benefits us. Each of these cracks lets impurity in, and impurity does not leave on its own. Once it settles in, it starts demanding what began as an innocent omission. It becomes addiction. Addiction becomes system. System becomes identity. And when one forgets who they were before gold, there is no soul left, only character. The mage must recognize the threshold in time, because after the threshold, the return is thorny, and not all make it back. Inverted sacrifices. In true magic, every sacrifice is an elevation. The mage offers the most valuable part of himself, not as loss, but as sowing. Thus sacred sacrifice brings expansion, return, blessing. But in black magic, sacrifice is an inversion of the axis. Light is sacrificed to obtain shadow. Inner connection is sacrificed to gain external influence, and the price is no longer ascension, but dissolution. He who sacrifices ethics for a contract, he who offers partners on the altar of opportunism, he who sells his art to a soulless market, is practicing a modern form of black magic. No cauldron or inverted pentagram is needed, just a corrupt intention, just the renunciation of truth. And those sacrifices leave a mark. Consciousness does not forget, and if you forget, your body will remember, or your children, or your dreams. Nothing gained by sacrificing the sacred will endure. The universe reclaims what is its own, the pendulum, law of return. Every act generates an oscillation. Wealth obtained without spiritual roots accumulates energy that sooner or later seeks to restore balance. That restoration is called return. The pendulum swings. Inevitably, some grow rich quickly by shady means and live 10 or 20 years in euphoria. Then the pendulum catches up. They lose everything, fall ill, die alone. Others inherit dark money and don't understand why everything in their lives breaks, stagnates, goes dark. It's the pendulum, the law of return. Not punishment, but adjustment. Not a curse, but a response. What you sowed returns, and if you sowed from fear, ego, shadow, the fruit will be bitter. But the pendulum's law can also be used in your favor. If today you purify, if today you redeem, if today you align, you will invoke a counter-oscillation that balances your past. The universe does not reward or punish. It reflects the path of redemption. There is a way out for those who have made pacts, corrupted, or sacrificed the sacred. Yes, but not without a price. The same fire once used to consume must now be used to purify. Redemption requires 3 essential acts. Total recognition of the pact. No justifications, no masks. Say, yes, I gave my soul for wealth. Only with this truth does the seal begin to crack. Conscious and sacred sacrifice. Renounce part of your capital, your control, your power to serve a higher end. Donate, serve, support a noble cause. Turn money into a channel for redemption. Sanctification of the present. It is not enough to break the past. Every future economic act must be dedicated to your higher self. Every transaction, every investment, every income must be offered to the divine will. Whoever fulfills this triple act not only breaks the dark pact, they transmute it. The demon becomes a servant, golden altar, and the mage a king. Final words: gold is a mirror. If it reflects your true self, you can govern it. If it reflects your shadow, it enslaves you. Many have fallen for desiring wealth without asking what wealth truly is. You must not be one of them. This book is your grimoire, and each word is a talisman to help you remember. You did not come into the world to serve gold. Gold came into the world to serve you. If you remember this, no matter how deep you've fallen, gold will answer your call. But if you forget, it will claim you as its own. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, and if your will is pure, the universe will obey you. Chapter 4, The Secret of Balance, Thelema and Money. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. In the vast architecture of the universe, everything occupies its rightful place. The sun turns, the blood flows, the word creates, and gold circulates. Wealth is neither blessing nor punishment in itself. It is a force, a symbol, a current. What makes it sacred is the place we give it within the axis of our existence. In this chapter, I will trace the path of balance between gold and soul, between wealth and freedom. For the true magician, the one who has known the will, does not serve money. He makes it serve him. He is not enslaved by coin, he turns it into a servant of his work. That is the secret, and that is the art. Thelema, a law of focused freedom. The law of Thelema, as received in Liber Alvel Legis, is not an invitation to license or whim, but a vibratory decree for the soul that has found itself. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law does not mean do whatever you please, but rather discover and fulfill your essential purpose completely, without distraction, without deviation. True will is a vibrating axis. When one finds it, all the energies of the universe begin to align. Health is restored, opportunities arise, allies are revealed. Money is not exempt from this law. It too aligns, it too flows. And herein lies the mystery. When you serve your will, money serves your will. But when you serve money, your will disintegrates, dilutes, prostitutes itself, and then you begin to die slowly. The authentic Thelemite does not worship money, nor does he reject it. He recognizes it, he accepts it, masters it, because he knows that anything not mastered becomes the master. Financial freedom is not about wealth, it is about detachment. Millions believe financial freedom means having enough to not depend on anyone. What a subtle trap. True freedom is not born from possession, but from not needing. And this does not imply misery, it implies mastery. The magician does not fear losing money because he knows how to generate it from his center, nor does he crave it with anxiety because he does not depend on it to define himself. He uses it as a tool, a hammer or a pen, according to what the work requires. This is the ideal state, to have money without being possessed by it, to use it without identifying with it, to move it without attachment. This is the freedom that makes the magician feared by bankers and revered by spirits. He who accomplishes this may enter the halls of power and leave without stain. He may speak with the wealthy without desiring their thrones. He may walk through markets without losing his soul. Money is servant of the work. Every adept has a work. That work is the visible manifestation of their will. It may be a temple, a book, a community, an art, a technology, a revolution. To manifest it, means are required. Here enters money, not as an end but as fuel. Money well used is concentrated power in service of a vision. It can accelerate processes, open paths, facilitate transmissions, sustain initiations, but it must never usurp the throne of will. When money begins to decide, the work deviates. When gold dictates the rhythm, magic dims. That is why the wise magician consecrates his money. He invokes it, purifies it, directs it. He does not let it stagnate, does not hoard it without cause, does not display it to feed the ego. He moves it like a river with purpose. How to know if your money is pure? When touching it brings you peace, when spending it brings blessing, when losing it does not shake your soul, when gaining it does not darken your gaze. The magical circle of flow, giving and receiving in harmony. Many ask, is it wrong to want money? And the answer is clear. No, if it is to fulfill your will. The problem is not wanting, but desiring without awareness, receiving without giving, hoarding without circulating. The law of flow is simple. What comes in must go out. What is given with joy returns multiplied. What is hoarded in fear rots. Just like sexual energy, money stagnates when not moved, and in its stagnation, it causes spiritual illness. That is why the magician gives, with wisdom, with direction, not out of charity, but out of consciousness. He knows that everything given to his work returns through unsuspected paths. Giving and receiving are not opposites, but two phases of the same right. He who gives without fear learns to receive without guilt. He who receives without gratitude soon ceases to receive. He who gives without intention wastes his power. But he who gives from his will consecrates his path. Practices for thelemic financial mastery. Income consecration. Each time you receive money from work, gift, business, or inheritance, take a moment to bless it. Place your right hand over it. May this energy serve my will, not my shadow. May it manifest as light in my work. The altar of gold. Have a small space where you symbolically deposit a part of every income, not as an offering to money, but as an offering to your purpose. That money will be used only for actions aligned with your spiritual mission. Circulation ritual. When spending on essentials, food, home, transport, tools, do it consciously. Visualize the money leaving you as radiant energy fulfilling a cycle. Thank the universe for allowing you to circulate it. Examination of attachments. Regularly ask yourself, how much money am I afraid to lose? What idea do I hold about financial success? What emotional inheritance about money do I carry from my family? Write, meditate, dissolve. The master and the servant. Money does not wish to control you, but if you do not control it, it will take command. Like a spirit invoked without a seal, it will overflow. Money must know its place. To be your servant, never your master. And that is achieved with inner mastery, not with fanatical rejection or blind adoration, but with clarity. The magician needs not vow poverty nor flaunt riches. He only needs to know, what is the purpose of what I possess? If the answer does not elevate you, release it. If it roots you, consecrate it. If it corrupts you, burn it. If it strengthens you, expand it. Gold serves the awakened, it buries the asleep. Final words, money as an ally of the light. In ancient temples, coins were thrown into the fire to be purified. Today, the fire is within you, and it must burn every illusion about money. It is not evil, it is not good. It is what you are when you touch it. The law of Thelema does not condemn wealth, it demands awareness. If your will is true, all wealth shall be added to you. If your will is false, all wealth shall be taken away. So then, magician, do your will, and may your gold, like your actions, be a reflection of the sun. Chapter 5. The Guardian Angel and the Finances of the Soul. There is no greater wealth than the voice of the angel in the silence of the soul. Liber Arcanorum, Lost Fragment. Every magician who aspires to the great work, not the labor of common alchemists, but the labor of the Redeemer of their own universe, must reach one supreme goal, the knowledge and conversation of the Holy Guardian Angel. Without this contact, all power is borrowed, all fortune fragile, all direction prone to error. And though some believe the angel has nothing to do with gold, they ignore a fundamental principle of magic. Everything that exists is sacred when aligned with the will, including money. In this chapter, I will reveal how the relationship with the angel, that inner, intimate, transcendent guide, is the master key to all magical economy. For without the angel's guidance, gold rusts. With it, gold becomes manifested light. Who is the guardian angel? Not a metaphor, not imagination, not a psychological archetype. The holy guardian angel is a real entity, an exalted aspect of your being, simultaneously your true self, your spiritual guide, and your divine mirror. It is none other than yourself, beyond time, beyond fear, beyond karma. It is who you are in eternity, waiting to be recognized. Every true magical tradition names it. In the Golden Dawn, it is the genius. In Sufism, the Ruh. In Christianity, the guardian angel. In Thelema, the HGA, Holy Guardian Angel. For me, Aleister Crowley, it was the voice of the Book of the Law, the presence of will made manifest. Anything not born of contact with the angel lacks true direction. including money. Why is the angel key to magical finance? Wealth is not merely a matter of skill or luck. It is above all a matter of alignment. Money that flows with meaning, capital that does not destroy, abundance that multiplies without corrupting. It can only be sustained if it is born from the center. That center is the angel. The angel knows why you are in this world. It knows your work, your role, your gift. And therefore it knows how much money you need, in what form, at what moment, and for what purpose. The angel does not wish to limit you, it wishes to focus you. When you do not listen to the angel, you chase fortunes that are not yours. You imitate paths that are not yours. You go into debt with the universe to satisfy desires that are not born of the soul, but of emptiness. Then gold becomes change, success becomes weight, and abundance becomes noise. But when the angel speaks and you obey, every coin arrives with mathematical precision. Every number responds to a stage of your evolution. Every deal, every gift, every loss, even, is a lesson. So stop asking how to attract money. Instead ask, am I listening to the angel before moving my economic energy? The process of contact, economy and revelation. Many have asked me, can money help me contact the angel? Yes, if you use it as a means, not an end. Here is a powerful practice. Consecrate a sum of money, no matter how modest, exclusively for your spiritual quest. Use that money only to buy sacred books, to travel to retreats, to sustain your personal temple, to nourish your rituals. Do not mix this gold with your daily expenses. This symbolic act creates resonance. You tell the universe and the angel that your priority is light, and like all magical acts, it has consequences. Soon you begin to see signs. Intuition sharpens. Synchronicities bloom. The angel begins to speak to you in words, in dreams, in events. You can also use specific invocation rituals to align your finances with the angel. Basic ritual of alignment with the HGA. Before any financial decision, draw the circle of protection, Burli Varaba. Light a white candle and a golden candle. Place before you a symbol of your work, a feather, a tool, an image. Say, you who are me beyond me, you who dwell in the star and in the blood, show me the gold that belongs to me and let it flow only in the direction of my will. Remain silent until a clear sensation, physical, emotional, or intuitive, responds. Make your decision only from that space. Do not rush. The angel does not shout, it whispers. The 3 stages of illuminated finance. When the angel enters your economy, everything changes. There are no longer losses, only adjustments. No longer gains, only blessings. You begin to live in a soul-centered economy with 3 stages. Clarity. You know what you need and what you don't, what drives you and what distracts you. You're not deceived by unnecessary luxuries or self-imposed miseries. Simplicity. Money flows easily because it is not obstructed by blind desire. Every expense has meaning. Every income has purpose. Consecration. Every economic act becomes ritual. Work becomes meditation. Commerce becomes alchemy. Abundance becomes a reflection of your inner unity. Thus, money ceases to be currency and becomes mantra. Obstacles to contact, the economic ego. The angel's greatest enemy is the ego, and in financial matters, the ego takes many forms. I deserve. I fear losing. I must appear successful. I am worth more, so I earn more. Each of these egoic mantras blocks the voice of the angel. For the angel does not negotiate with masks. It only enters the house of one who has swept away pride. So if you want the angel to guide your economy, first surrender. Say, I do not know how much I need, but you do. I do not know which path leads to prosperity, but you do. Here I am available, guide me. And only then will the miracle occur. Cases and visions. I myself, Aleister Crowley, lived both faces of gold, times of splendor and ruin, of generous patrons and self-imposed poverty. But whenever I invoked the angel, I knew what to do. Sometimes he told me to invest, other times to renounce. Sometimes to multiply, other times to burn. He never failed. I knew other magicians who, upon losing the connection, fell, and those who, upon restoring it, flourished, without rational explanation. Because when the angel breathes through your economy, The laws of the world bow before you. The angel is celestial banker. Here is the final vision. The holy guardian angel is your true celestial banker. He charges no interest. He demands no collateral. He does not lend. He grants. But only if your intention is clear, your purpose firm, your surrender total. He knows the accounts of your karma. He manages your inner treasure, and he decides when and how to free you from financial fear. If you trust him, you will live in true abundance, not of numbers, but of meaning. And gold will finally become light, and your wealth will be your prayer and your work your eternal testament. Chapter 6. Symbolic purification of contaminated money. As incense ignites the air with invisible fragrance, so the word and the basket redeem the dense into the subtle. Fragment from the hidden libellux. Money, as we have seen, is not dead matter, but a vessel of living energy. Every bill, every coin, every bank figure is marked by the actions, intentions, and emotions of those who have possessed it before. Gold can be as pure as holy water, or as toxic as the venom of a scorpion. The adept does not ignore this truth. He faces it. The purpose of this chapter is clear: to provide real and effective practices for symbolically purifying contaminated money, that is, to release the impure energetic charge that has adhered to it, restore its natural vibration, and preserve it as an instrument of will. These practices are not superstitions. They are precise magical operations that act upon the invisible planes where all true economy begins. Here lies the art of cleansing gold with invisible fire. How money becomes contaminated. Before purification comes discernment. Money becomes tainted when obtained through betrayal, deceit, manipulation, exploitation, or crime. When it has circulated in dense environments, black markets, conflicts, wars, forced prostitution. When used for destructive purposes, bribery, addictions, psychic control. When hoarded with greed, fear, or avarice. When passing through hands full of hatred, illness, or despair. This does not mean such money should be despised. On the contrary, its rescue is a work of redemption. Just as the mage does not flee from shadow but transforms it, so too must fallen gold be reclaimed and restored to purity. 2. Purification as a rite of transformation. Each of the following rituals must be performed with absolute intention and full concentration. If you doubt, nothing happens. If you believe, the universe obeys. The ritual of the 4 keys. This basic ritual serves to physically purify a sum of money, bills or coins, before using it for elevated purposes. Required elements: a small ceramic or wooden bowl, never plastic or metal, sea salt, pure water, preferably rainwater or blessed, an incense burner with frankincense or myrrh resin, a white candle, a consecrated prayer, see below. Procedure: place the money in the center of the bowl. With your right index finger, trace a circle of protection around the bowl, visualizing a pale blue flame. Sprinkle salt over the money, saying, "By the earth, foundation of form, I undo every impious bond. Let the chains of fear and greed be broken." Add a few drops of water while saying, "By the water, womb of emotion, may all impure memory dissolve. May the footprints of pain be washed away." Light the incense and pass it in a spiral motion over the money, saying, "By the air, messenger of thought, let the fog be lifted, and clear intent replace confusion." Bring the flame of the candle near without burning anything and say, "By the fire, purifier of essence, burn the dark, reveal the hidden, let gold return to its solar state." Finally, raise both hands and speak the prayer of redemption. "O invisible power that dwells in all substance, you who give gold its shine, man his hunger, and the soul its judgment. Take this energy and cleanse it. Make it a reflection of my will. Let it serve the light and not the shadow. Let it be offering, not bondage. So be it by the 4 and by the 1. Leave the money to rest for at least 1 night before using it. 3. Symbols of protection and sealing. Once purified, it is wise to energetically seal the money or financial account to prevent recontamination. 1. Solar seal of prosperity. Draw the following symbol on parchment or white cardstock. In the center, trace a small upward-pointing triangle with the word voluntas written inside. Place this seal in your wallet, money box, or wherever you store consecrated funds. Its energy acts as a filter, allowing only what resonates with your purpose to pass. 2. Verisman of just flow. Take a coin you have purified and draw the infinity symbol on it with indelible ink. This will be your flow coin. Each time you receive or give a significant sum, first touch this coin and say, "May what I give return justly. May what I receive be clean. Let this flow not draw me from my center." 4. Prayer to consecrate a transaction. Before signing a contract, collecting a debt, receiving an inheritance, closing a sale, or opening an account, recite the following. Angel of my will, guardian of my paths, I consecrate this economic act to the light. May what enters nourish my work. May what exits not divert me. May each figure echo my purpose, and may no impurity pass the threshold of my consciousness. So I decree it. So it is made manifest. V. Discharge bath after suspicious gain. If you suspect you have received money with a dark charge, a gain that made you feel uneasy, a strange inheritance, or a sale with heavy vibrations, perform the following bath. Ingredients: hot water, 3 handfuls of coarse salt, rue, rosemary and bay leaves, and a few drops of lemon essential oil. Instructions: boil the herbs and add them to your bath water along with the salt and oil. Immerse yourself saying, "As this water wraps me, may purity reconfigure me. May what is not mine dissolve. May the gold I have touched not touch my soul." Remain silent for 7 minutes. When finished, dry with a white towel and burn a sandalwood incense stick. 6. Final words. The purification of money is not a ritual whim, it is a magical necessity. Just as the mage purifies his sword before invoking, he must purify money before using it. Not to make it good, but to restore its neutrality, to empty it of shadow and fill it with will. Remember, it is not enough to earn money magically. One must charge it, preserve it, direct it. One must listen to its story, erase its poison, and transform it into medicine. When you do, every bill that passes through your hands becomes a talisman, every coin a blessing, and you, a channel of balance between the material and the eternal. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Chapter 7, The Adept's Crucible, Inner Economic Alchemy. Gold is not redeemed in the world without first melting the lead of the soul. Liber aurum interius freeze. The magician does not work only with objects and external forces. His greatest laboratory is his own heart. Economic alchemy does not begin with rituals, contracts, or consecrated coins. It begins with the internal transmutation of the emotions, beliefs, and desires that govern one's relationship with money. This chapter addresses the most delicate and essential process of all magical economy, the inner crucible. There, guilt, blind ambition, and compulsive desire must be burned until they become pure essence, awakened will, and the triad of error, guilt, ambition, blind desire. Money in the consciousness of most humans does not vibrate in neutrality, it vibrates in conflict. And that conflict takes 3 main forms that must be identified and transmuted by the adept if they wish to use wealth as a divine tool. 1. Guilt. The Judeo-Christian inheritance, the unconscious root of poverty, the vision of money as something dirty, dangerous, generates a guilt energy every time money is earned, enjoyed, or desired. This guilt manifests as financial sabotage, discomfort receiving money easily, or compulsive spending to get rid of money. 2. Blind ambition. Not to be confused with willpower, blind ambition is desire without roots, movement without direction, fire without altar. It seeks money by imitation, fear, comparison, not by purpose. Symptoms: chronic fatigue from meaningless overactivity, projects started from greed and ending in emptiness, aversion or contempt for those who have more. 3. Compulsive desire. Money as an emotional drug. It is desired not from need or purpose, but to fill a void that is never satisfied. This desire perpetuates psychic slavery. Symptoms: addiction to consumption, distress when unable to buy, inability to plan or sustain. These three forces make up what I call the triad of black gold and are the first impure metals that must be melted in the inner crucible. 2. The crucible, a space of inner transmutation. The alchemical crucible is not an object but a state. It is the act of looking with radical honesty at everything one has projected onto money. It is naked self-contemplation, without excuses, masks, or formulas. The adept must submit to this operation as one submits to spiritual surgery. The process is arduous but necessary, because no gold can be pure if its psychic root is rot. Here are the three fires that must be lit in the crucible. 1. The fire of forgiveness. This fire serves to dissolve guilt. The adept forgives themselves for having hated money, feared money, or been manipulated by money. They forgive themselves for not knowing, for betraying themselves, for begging or trampling. Simple ritual of guilt dissolution. Write down all your painful memories related to money. Bad decisions, deceptions, betrayals, losses. Read them aloud before a mirror lit by a white candle. Then burn the paper while saying, "I forgive myself, I free myself, I redeem myself. Gold is no longer a chain but a path. I am worthy of enlightened wealth." Repeat as many times as necessary. 2. The fire of vision. This fire serves to dispel blind ambition. Here the adept invokes their true will and compares each desire to it. Anything that does not resonate must be released. No drama. Exercising clarity. Ask yourself why you want more money. For what? With what ultimate purpose? Does this feed my work or my ego? Write your answers and compare them with what you know of your will. If unsure of your will, seek your angel. See Chapter 5. They know. 3. The fire of creative emptiness. This is the most subtle fire. It serves to transmute compulsive desire. It is not about eliminating desire, but purifying it. Let desire consume itself until only its luminous essence remains. Alchemical practice. For 7 days, buy nothing that is not absolutely necessary. Every time you feel the urge to buy, write it down in a notebook with the date, time, and emotion felt. At the end of 7 days, review and ask yourself what you really desired, what lack this act was trying to fill. This breaks the spell of compulsion. You recover your sovereignty. 3. Awakened will. The inner gold. Once the 3 impure metals have been melted, the magician can extract their inner gold. Awakened will applied to the economic field. Awakened will knows what it wants, does not justify itself, does not shame success, does not fear loss, does not act out of comparison, does not sabotage itself, does not lie to sell, does not sell its essence to buy praise. When this will takes the reins of money, everything falls into order. Just opportunities are attracted, offers that divert are rejected, income and expenses are blessed, and one sleeps peacefully. 4. Final consecration, money in the service of being. The last phase of this alchemy is the consecration of money to the work. It does not matter how much you have. What matters is that you put it at the service of your light. Ritual of fortune consecration. Write a decree of will. Example, my work is to awaken consciousness through art. The money flowing to me will be used to sustain this work. I will not betray myself, hide, or deceive. I stand firm in the truth of my purpose. Read this decree every time you collect payment, invoice, or invest. Deposit a small offering on a personal altar with each new income, not as payment to angels or gods, but as a symbol of integration. 5. Final words. Money will not change if you do not change. You can use the highest rituals, the best strategies, the most powerful symbols. But if inside you the fires of guilt, greed, or blind desire still burn, your gold will remain stained. The crucible is within you. There the fire must burn first. There the false self must melt. There the real self must be revealed. Only then and not before can you touch gold without burning, hold it without being possessed, use it without losing your way. Economic alchemy is not thermal, it is an art, and its masterpiece is you, a will that shines like pure gold. Chapter 8. The 4 elements of sacred money. Divide gold into 4 and you will find the key to balance. Without air it stagnates. Without water it hardens. Without fire it extinguishes. Without earth it fades away. Fragment from the Grimorium Elementalis. True magic recognizes the four elements as pillars of creation: air, water, fire, and earth. They are not mere poetic symbols, but archetypal realities and living energies that shape every manifestation of the universe, including money. The mage's economy cannot do without these principles, for without them, gold becomes imbalance. This chapter reveals how to consciously integrate the four elements into your financial life to transmute ordinary money into sacred money, balanced, consecrated, and aligned with true will. 1. Air, mental clarity. Air is the realm of thought, logic, strategy, and vision. Without air, money becomes fog, confusion, blind impulse. The mage must learn to think about money without fear, anxiety, or guilt. Their mind must be sharp like a double-edged sword, cutting through illusion and revealing structure. Manifestations of imbalanced air: lack of financial control, impulsive economic decisions, fear of looking at your accounts, conflicting ideas about self-worth. Practices to invoke air. Daily record of economic flow. Each day write down income, expenses, and micro-financial decisions. Numerical awareness is a form of mental breathing. Air meditation. Sit at dawn, breathe deeply and say, "I inhale wisdom, I exhale confusion. May the east wind clear my thoughts. May my numbers reflect my truth." Rational declaration of goals. Define clear financial goals, not from desire, but from strategy. Write how much you need, why, and in what time frame. A clear mind holds the throne where money sits without dominating. 2. Water, emotional flow. Water governs emotion, connection, and subjective value. Without water, money becomes dry, inhuman, cold. Too much water makes it unstable, emotional, chaotic. The mage must recognize their emotional history with money. How do they feel when receiving it, when losing it? Who do they associate with wealth or poverty? Where emotional knots exist, water does not flow, and neither does money. Symptoms of overflowing water: emotional shopping, giving money to gain affection, feeling guilty spending on oneself, feeling empty without consumption. Practices to balance water. The gold mirror ritual. Hold a coin or bill before a mirror. Look into your eyes and ask, "What do I feel holding this? What am I seeking in it?" Let memories, tears, and anger surface. Don't run away. Water heals only when it flows. Financial emotional journal. Every significant transaction, write how you felt before, during, and after. This reveals your hidden currents. Water blessing of money. Pass your hands wet with water over a sum of money and say, "May the blessed water flow through this gold. May it connect me with those who will receive it. May it be a bridge, not a wall." Water can do the same for money if purified. 3. Fire. Illuminated desire. Fire is desire, passion, creative impulse. It fuels action. Without fire, money stagnates. With uncontrolled fire, it burns out. The mage does not fear desire, but transmutes it into direction. Healthy fire desires not out of lack, but vision. It desires not from anxiety, but as expression of the sacred. Signs of imbalanced fire: greed or addiction to risk. Total abandonment of desire for spirituality. Denial of money's power, guilt for wanting abundance. Practices to ignite the right fire. Prayer of illuminated desire. Before a lit candle say, "Divine fire, soul's desire, ignite in me clear vision. May what I want lift me. May what I seek be pure. May the gold I long for be born from will, not shadow." Visualization of wealth as flame. Imagine your money as a torch lighting a path. Where does it lead you? If you don't see the path, your desire is not yet clear. Economic ignition circle. Gather symbols of your work, books, tools, instruments. Place a sum of money at the center, surround it with red candles and say, "Here is my fire. Here is my intention. May gold move according to my vision. May what ignites not consume but illuminate." Purified desire fire is the engine of all true abundance. 4. Earth. Concrete manifestation. Earth is form, structure, and concrete action. Without earth, all remains idea, dream, or empty prayer. Too much earth creates rigidity, stinginess, and unhealthy control. Money only manifests if there are defined channels. The mage must build structures to receive and expand their economic energy, projects, ventures, services, platforms. Without matter, spirit does not act. Signs of imbalanced earth, procrastination on financial tasks, chaos in administration, disdain for material things due to spirituality, inability to sustain created wealth, practices to ground sacred money, ritual economic map, draw your economic flow like a tree on paper, roots, sources, trunk, management, fruits, manifestations. This geomagic act creates clarity and containment. Temple of action. Designate a physical space to work with and for your money, altar, desk, safe. Keep it clean, sacred, active. Consecration of work. Before working, even for others, say, "This material act is my alchemy." With every movement I strengthen my temple. My effort is not routine but ritual. May earth sustain me and gold be fruit, not prison. 5. The fifth essence, the ether of consecrated money. When the four elements are balanced, the fifth arises, the ether or spirit. It is the energy that integrates, gives direction, meaning, and purpose. When air, water, fire, and earth act in harmony, money ceases to be a mere thing and becomes a living instrument. The ether of sacred money is awakened, will manifest it as wealth. There is no possession, no slavery, only channel, only expression. Final words. Divide your economy into four elements and observe yourself. Do you think with clarity? Air. Do you feel with openness? Water. Do you desire with vision? Fire. Do you act with order? Earth. Where there is excess, moderate. Where there is lack, nourish. Your wealth will not grow beyond the balance of your soul because sacred money is not earned. It manifests from the balanced heart of the mage. Chapter 9. Rituals of monetary transmutation. Common gold transforms into a talisman when the mage consecrates it with fire, intention, and word. Clavis Arcanum Mercury. Having already walked the paths of purification, elemental awareness, and inner alchemy, the adept is now ready for one of the most sacred and powerful operations of the art, the magical transmutation of money. It is no longer simply about cleansing or understanding it, but about turning it into an active instrument of spiritual power. Common money, stripped of all shadow and infused with will, can and must be ritualized, turned into a talisman, altar, living symbol of purpose. Thus, it ceases to be a mere means and becomes a magical ally. This chapter offers concrete, proven, and codified rituals for the contemporary mage. These operations require no cathedrals or external temples, only a clean space, a clear will, and an awakened soul. Principles of monetary transmutation. Before entering practice, you must understand that every ritual of monetary transmutation is based on three fundamental acts: purification, freeing the money from past vibrations; consecration, charging it with the energy of your will; ritual use, employing it with sacred direction as a talisman. No coin should be transmuted without clear intention. No bill should be consecrated if it is to be used in contradictory actions. The mage does not play with gold, they honor it. 2. Ritual of the personal financial altar. This ritual establishes a fixed point in your physical space where magical economy will manifest. Elements: table or raised surface, white or golden cloth, one golden candle and one black candle for balance, cinnamon and sandalwood incense, bowl with clean coins or bills can be symbolic. Symbol of your will, image, sigil, word, or drawing. Procedure: cleanse the space with water and salt. Place the cloth and the bowl with money in the center. Light the candles. First the black candle representing the past, then the golden candle representing the future. Light the incense. Touch the money with your right hand and say, "May this gold no longer reflect fear, guilt, or blind desire. From now on, may it be a mirror of my will. May my purpose see it. May my angel guard it." Place your symbol over the bowl and leave it there for at least one lunar cycle. This altar is not decorative. It is a center of radiance. Visit it often, feed it, speak to it, keep it clean. 3. The economic talisman. Turning a coin, bill, or check into an active talisman is one of the most powerful acts of financial magic. It is not superstition, but charging an object with magical intention to act in invisible realms. Ritual to consecrate a coin as a talisman. Materials, a significant coin, preferably one obtained in an important transaction. Essential oil, cinnamon, clove, or bergamot. Personal symbol or sigil of will or angel. Wax candle, red or golden. Ideal timing, waxing moon. Procedure: anoint the coin with oil while saying, "I awaken you, coin of the world, to be an instrument of the Spirit." Trace your personal symbol on it. Pass it over the flame without burning it, saying, "Fire of my soul, engrave here my pure desire." Hold it to your chest and visualize your work completed, clear and present. Keep the coin in your wallet or altar. Do not spend it. It is a magical bond. When facing important economic decisions, hold it and meditate. It will connect you to your center. 4. Ritual of conscious economic giving. Every expenditure of money is a form of magical offering. If done with anger or fear, it feeds lack. If done with gratitude and affection, it opens the flow of enlightened abundance. Mini daily ritual. Before paying, transferring, or investing, say mentally or softly, "This money leaves a seed, not lost but sowing. I give it with love, and it returns multiplied according to my will." Visualize its journey and destination. If you cannot say this without discomfort, do not give the money. Check your emotion. The mage does not spend, the mage acts magically. 5. Creation of a closed fund. Every magical economy needs a consecrated economic fund, a reservoir not used for mundane expenses, but to fuel the elevated purposes of the adept. How to create your fund. Define a percentage of each income for this fund. It can be symbolic at first. Keep that money in a magically sealed space, a box with symbols, a separate, consecrated bank account. Do not use it until an action aligned with your work requires it. Publishing a book, opening a center, starting an initiatory journey. This fund is your economic grail. Do not profane it. 6. Ritual of stained money. If you receive money from a source you suspect impure but decide not to reject it, you must perform a rite of exorcism and redemption. Ritual liberati pecuniae. Materials: incense of myrrh and benzoin, black and white candles, salt, water, and consecrated oil. The implicated money. Procedure: trace a protective circle, place the money between the two candles. Sprinkle salt while saying, "Let the memory of shadow fall away." Sprinkle water, let pain and guilt dissolve. Anoint with oil, let this energy be redirected to pure will. Burn the incense saying, "I do not judge its origin, but I transform its destiny. May this gold serve the light." Let the candles burn out completely. Use that money only for sacred purposes afterward. 7. Economy as a living right. The mage who transfigures their relationship with money no longer seeks it anxiously. They become a natural axis of attraction. Every operation becomes ceremony, every transaction an act of magic. The difference between the fool and the wise is not how much money they have, but the vibration they imprint on their economy. One curses their accounts, the other blesses them. One fears loss, the other trusts the flow. You decide what ritual to create. You decide which gold to touch. You decide what will to manifest. Final words. The rituals presented here are not fixed formulas, but keys. Every mage must adapt, extend, and deepen them according to their own symbolic language, but never trivialize them. Remember, money is not the end. Money is not the enemy. Money is the servant of your work, and when consecrated, it becomes the emissary of your light in the world. Do your will shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Chapter 10, The Initiatory Banker, the Economic Magician's Craft. The true magician does not work for a salary nor trade out of greed. Their wealth emanates like a perfume from their work, and gold arrives effortlessly wherever the will has blossomed. Liber Mercurius Luciferi. Few figures generate as much inattention as the spiritual being who lives from money. In the dogmas of the old era, living from gold was synonymous with corruption, and in the modern world there is no purpose more sanctified than profit. The magician belongs to neither extreme. If true, the magician becomes what I call the initiatory banker, a being who manages economic flows with the same mastery as they direct invisible forces, who generates wealth without tarnishing themselves, who trades without enslaving, who sustains without serving themselves. This chapter reveals the esoteric and practical keys to this craft. It is not theory nor empty ethics. It is living praxis, a path of material expansion rooted in spirituality. Initiatory economics is neither accumulation nor renunciation, but the projection of wealth as a natural emanation of a living work. The magician does not work, they execute their work. The first error of the layperson is to believe the adept must earn a living. No, the adept expresses their life, and the universe responds with sustenance. When one is truly aligned with their will, there is no vain effort. Every action bears fruit. The initiatory banker lives from their work because the work has value. And what has value, energy, clarity, beauty, wisdom, structure, generates wealth without manipulation. Does this mean the magician does not charge? On the contrary, they do, because their energy is precise, because their time is consecrated, because their teaching is not alms, but a key. But they charge without attachment, without greed, without usury. They charge with the consciousness of one who receives only what is necessary to multiply the light. Key. The magician does not live to make money. They live to embody a will, and money is their servant, not their goal. 2. The enterprise as temple, sacred economy in action. In the new magical era, there will be no stone temples, but initiatory enterprises, places, projects, and organizations where the collective will of an awakened group or individual manifests. We no longer speak of traditional business, but of conscious channels of wealth, sacred publishing houses, occult schools, alchemical laboratories, ritual gardens, spiritual technology, consecrated art. The initiatory banker is not just another vendor, but an architect of ecosystems of value. They design structures where energy flows and gold serves the soul. Traits of an initiatory enterprise. It has a clear and consecrated higher purpose. Its economic structure is based on justice, transparency, and balance. Its product or service expands consciousness and does not feed the shadow. Its income is redistributed with purpose. Its founder lives coherently with what they offer. Gold in these enterprises is not accumulated. It moves. It is invested, donated, reconfigured, because true wealth is creative flow, not financial enclosure. 3. The temptations of the banker, common pitfalls. Not every adept manages to sustain their economic power. Many fall into one of 3 abysses surrounding the initiatory banker's throne: ego corruption, believing that economic success proves spiritual superiority. Here, the ego masquerades as master, and the magician becomes a merchant of souls. They charge more than they're worth, promise more than they can deliver, simulate initiation to sustain their empire. Spiritual guilt. Refusing to receive, charge, or prosper out of fear of social condemnation or inherited beliefs. This manifests as chronic poverty, resentment, self-sabotage, and evolutionary stagnation. Addiction to flow, losing oneself in economic creation without sustaining the spiritual root, creating endlessly, soullessly, out of fear of loss. Here the banker forgets their will and only multiplies empty structures. Antidote. Return to the center, remember your work, review your purpose, put the angel on the board of directors, and if you don't know whom you serve, stop. 4. Practice system, the triad of the initiatory banker. Every closed economy must be sustained by 3 essential practices. Concession of purpose, veritas. Each week answer in writing, whom does my enterprise serve? What light does my product expand? What is the soul of what I do? Without these answers, there is no magical direction, only commerce. Flow review, ponderatio. Each month review, where does my money come from and where does it go? What percentage sustains my work and what percentage feeds my ego? Use symbols, colors, numbers. Transform your accounts into operational mandalas. Ritual donation, sacrificium. Designate a fixed portion of your income to be donated, not to vulgar charity, but to projects or people sustaining sacred energy. This is your offering to the invisible world. You need no recognition, only intention. 5. The banker as guardian of the flow. The initiatory banker does not own the money. They are guardian of the flow. They know gold does not belong to them. They know how to move it with precision. They know when to invest, when to give, when to stop. This knowledge does not come from logic, but from contact with the angel, inner listening and vibrational balance. It is an art, a dance, a permanent invocation. Advice from the great magician. When in doubt about accepting a sum, ask your stomach. When in doubt about investing, ask your chest. When in doubt about charging, ask your soul. If there is no harmony between the three, it is not yet the moment. 6 final words. Making wealth is drawing light from gold. The initiatory banker neither fears success nor worships it. They know their role is to be a channel between the invisible and the concrete, that their enterprise is their temple, their coin their word, their bank account a mirror of their soul. They do not impoverish themselves to be pure, nor enrich themselves to be powerful. They only sustain what corresponds to them, no more, no less. And when they do, the universe conspires in their favor, for true gold obeys the magician who remembers who they are. Do your will shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Chapter 11. Giving to receive, the law of sacrifice and offering. No vessel can be filled unless it has first been emptied. Those who fear giving have never truly trusted their own spring. Libidonum secretum. If gold flows like a river, then whoever tries to hold on to it will turn everything into a stagnant swamp. This is the law. Nothing multiplies without circulation, nothing endures without sharing, and nothing is truly received unless it has first been offered, either in intention or deed. The magician who ignores this truth becomes trapped in the illusion of accumulation, and their wealth ends up as a burden, not as flight. In this chapter, we explore one of the most forgotten yet powerful keys of sacred economy, the law of sacrifice and offering. This is not about charity or alms, but about giving as a magical act, as energetic alignment as a decree of conscious abundance. One who has not learned to give is not prepared to sustain the wealth they seek. 1. The hidden tithe, the mystery of the 10%. From the ancient Chaldean temples to Hebrew mystical orders and the initiates of the Golden Age, the act of giving 1/10 of one's income, the tithe, has been an operational secret of those who wish to maintain an uninterrupted flow of wealth. But the magician does not give out of obligation or superstition. They give because they understand that everything consecrated in the name of will returns multiplied in the language of the soul. What is the tithe for the adept? It is not a moral law, but a vibratory act, not imposed, but a voluntary offering, not fixed in percentage, but fixed in intention, not given to empty temples, but to that which sustains light in the world. This tithe can take many forms: money, time, teaching, creation, presence. What matters is not the what, but the for whom and how. 2. Conscious sacrifice versus unconscious loss. The universe demands balance. If you do not give voluntarily, sooner or later something will be taken from you: time, health, relationships, energy. This is not punishment, but adjustment. The difference is simple but profound. Conscious sacrifice, a chosen act performed with intention, joy, and direction. It multiplies energy, purifies intention, and opens invisible paths. Unconscious loss, an act imposed by life accompanied by pain, resentment, or confusion. It closes doors, weakens the energy field, and creates vibratory debt. The magician prefers sacrifice over loss because they know that he who does not flow by will be dragged uncontrollably by it. 3. What and to whom should I give? The most common mistake is to give for approval or to what seems good without discernment. The magician does not give out of guilt, pity, or emotional propaganda. They give where there is truth. What should be given? Money that does not compromise your essential sustenance but represents value. Creative energy channeled into completed projects. Knowledge that ignites other flames. True presence where darkness calls for light. To whom should it be given? To people or causes aligned with your spiritual will or vision. To spaces that sustain your growth. Teachers, schools, retreats. To those who cannot yet repay you, but whom you recognize as part of your mission. All that you give must return to you not as gratitude but as expansion. 4. Ritual of true offering. Before giving something valuable, whether money, creation, or time, the magician performs this ritual act. Materials: white candle, copal or sandalwood incense, an object representing what you will offer, a written word of your will. Procedure: light the candle and incense. Take the object or visualize the offering. Say, "I do not give out of duty, fear, or desire for return. I give because I am a channel, because in giving I expand, because my wealth is not in what I hold, but in what I release with intention." Make the actual transfer act or sending. Keep the written word of your will on your altar or in your wallet. This act transforms any giving into a magical decree. 5. The paradigm of excess, breaking the lie of scarcity. Many believe that if they give, they will have less. This is the trap of the economic ego, living from the idea of lack. But the universe does not respond to scarcity. It responds to the energetic center you project with every act. Those who give from inner security strengthen their field. Those who cling weaken it. Hidden formula: what I cannot give possesses me. What I give freely obeys me. For this reason, the magician practices giving, even what they most fear losing, not as punishment, but as affirmation of sovereignty. 6. The flow of giving and receiving in balance. It is not all about giving. One must also learn to receive with dignity and gratitude. Rejecting what is offered out of fear or false humility also blocks the flow. Daily practice. If someone gives you something, accept and say thank you. This gesture will be multiplied through my work. If someone cannot repay you, say, you need not return anything. If my act is true, it has already been paid. This attitude keeps the energetic channel clean and active. 7. Final words. The adept as living bridge. Giving is not charity, it is magic, it is expansion. And all true wealth is born from giving without fear, calculation, or mask. The magician who gives does not do so because they have excess, but because they know their source is not outside, but within. Their trust does not reside in the gold they possess, but in the will that generates it. Do your will shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. May every coin given be a seed, may every offering be fire, and may the world receive your gift as a reflection of the light that you are. Chapter 12. The Theurgic Investment, Sowing in the Invisible. The wisest of bankers does not invest in bricks or metals, but in concentrated light, in ideas that vibrate, in works that bloom beyond the senses. Liber investitura e occultae. The layman invests in stocks, properties, tangible gold. The magician invests in vibrational connections, fulfilled purposes, and invisible structures that sustain worlds. While the former seeks profitability in numbers, the latter sows in the soul of time and reaps in eternity. This chapter reveals the secret science of theurgic investment, the art of mobilizing material resources to activate hidden processes, sustain invisible temples, nurture projects that transcend economics, and penetrate the domain of will, karma, and the evolution of the collective soul. It is not a metaphor, nor a poetic image, but an operative reality of initiatory economy, and whoever does not know how to invest in the unseen will never see the visible multiplied. 1. The Theurgic Investment. In magical tradition, theurgy is the science of the divine act. It is not about manipulating natural forces as in sorcery or thaumaturgy, but consciously collaborating with higher worlds. To invest theurgically is to align your material wealth with a spiritual force seeking manifestation on earth. Every theurgic investment has 3 characteristics. It does not seek immediate profit, but generates profound expansion. It supports a hidden purpose beyond the personality. It activates invisible currents of protection, grace, wisdom, or synchronicity. The adept does not impoverish themselves by investing this way. They align with a higher architecture that rewards them in unexpected and perfect ways. 2. Forms of investment in the invisible. Magical donations. Giving money or material objects to hidden, initiatory, or spiritual causes with the conscious intention of sustaining the fire of light in the world. Examples: funding the publication of a sacred book, financially supporting a master, guide, or esoteric school, donating to a space where rituals, invocations, or teachings of power take place. Key: donation must not be emotional or moral. It must arise from clear vision. This channel sustains a frequency that must remain. Brief activation ritual before donating. Place your hand on the amount to give. Say, "This gold is not mine. It belongs to the spirit within me. As I give it, may a portal open. May the invisible be strengthened and the work advance with force." Then give with gratitude, never doubt, never hope for reward. Spiritual projects. Invest time, money, and energy in personal or collective projects, whose essence is not profit, but the expansion of consciousness. Here, profitability may come, but is not the primary goal. Sowing is more powerful than immediate harvest. Examples: creating a magical teaching platform, building a meditation or initiation space, organizing an energetic alignment event, sponsoring ritual art, sacred cinema, or invoking music. Warning: if intention is contaminated by ego or desire for approval, investment loses its theurgic power and becomes disguised marketing. Purity formula: I do this to embody a greater vision than myself. This project will elevate even if I disappear. If yes, sow. If no, wait. Invisible temples. Invisible temples are not physical buildings, but energetic structures sustained by the thoughts, emotions, and wills of those who have reached a certain level of spiritual integration. Investing in them does not involve bank transfers, but symbolic, ritual, and vibrational actions that feed their permanence. Examples: dedicating daily practice to an egregore of light like the White Brotherhood or invisible masters, meditating to sustain a lineage, lighting a candle each month to keep a magical or spiritual channel open, sending energy, words, silence, symbols toward a network of lightworkers. These investments are unseen but produce real changes in the subtle field and universe, which never forgets and returns their echo multiplied. 3. Invisible contracts and karmic memories. Each theurgic investment establishes a vibratory contract with a higher force. This force becomes an ally, protects, guides, accompanies, but demands coherence. Example: if you invest in the creation of a temple, you cannot later live in contradiction with its teaching. If you give for a high purpose and then curse its delay, you block the current. The invisible commitment is stronger than any notarized signature, because what is offered from the soul is sealed in the eternal plane. 4. Hidden gain, how the theurgic investment returns. Those who invest in the invisible rarely receive immediate money but receive protection at crucial moments, allies appearing from nowhere, brilliant and precise ideas, synchronicities that open closed paths, revealing dreams, opportunities unseen by others. And when money finally arrives, it comes clean, blessed, harmonious. It does not weigh, burn, or vanish because it flows from a correct channel. 5. Practical exercise, your spiritual portfolio. Make a real and symbolic inventory of your current investments. Divide into 2 columns: visible investments, money, business, real estate, etc. Invisible investments, donations, projects, energies, sustainments. Analyze where your energy flows more, what has given you more return, not only financial but vital. What part of your wealth sustains the soul of the world? Decide then to balance. Add 10% more theurgic investment to your system. Observe what happens in the next 40 days. 6. Final words. Sow into nothingness, harvest in the all. Investing in the hidden is an operative act of faith. It is sowing in darkness, knowing there is light. It is betting on eternity, not urgency. And whoever does so without expectation, anxiety, or pride receives from above without asking, and from below without stealing. The wealth that remains is not what is stored, but what is offered to the fire without fear, because money that enters the invisible realm is reborn in the realm of the soul. Thy will shall be the whole law. Love is the law, love under will. Chapter 13. Magical protection against negative monetary energy. Whoever touches gold without a shield touches the man of the world with bare hands, liberis occulta. Just as the magician prepares their body before a ritual, consecrates their sword before a battle, or purifies their temple before an invocation, they must also protect themselves energetically before entering the densest and most complex vibrational field of this era, the field of contaminated money. In this chapter, I will reveal concrete formulas, not allegories, to defend your spiritual integrity in environments where money flows charged with envy, deceit, greed, or desperation. Banks, markets, offices, businesses, economic networks, and financial agreements are not just physical places. They are psychic territories inhabited by voracious egregores and invisible lavas. The magician does not flee from them, but does not enter unarmed. 1. The nature of energetic risk. Every financial transaction, every conversation about money, every economic agreement leaves a vibrational trail. Without clarity, respect, and awareness, this trail becomes a toxic bond. The consequences are many. Sudden fatigue after negotiating, mental confusion in the presence of numbers, sudden unexplained loss of money, psychic attacks of envy or sabotage, a feeling of dirtiness after receiving payment, energetic rupture when accepting corrupt payment. These signals are not subjective. They are real symptoms of monetary vibrational contamination and must be treated with the same seriousness as a physical attack or poison. 2. Basic energetic shields for financial environments. The circle of Saturn. Before entering a negotiation, bank, or dense economic power space, perform this brief ritual. Pause for a moment. Close your eyes. Visualize a black and dark blue circle surrounding your body. Mentally say, Saturn, Lord of Limits, I close this field with your ring. Let nothing penetrate without judgment. Let nothing adhere without my permission. Let darkness surround me, but not touch me. This shield does not block economic flow, but prevents psychic contagion. 3. Economic protection sigils, the Sun Shield and Aleph. Draw this symbol on your wallet, contract, bank card, or even large bills. This sigil merges the solar power of identity with the Hebrew openness of the creative principle. It acts as a vibrational filter, retaining only money that vibrates with your light. Empower it with this prayer when applying. May this sign vibrate between worlds. May gold not belonging to me retreat. Only what serves my will may cross this threshold. 4. Discharge baths after heavy exchanges. Saturn and Mercury bath. Ideal after complex deals, disputes, tense sales, or exchanges with felt tension. Ingredients: hot water, a handful of sea salt, 7 drops rosemary essential oil, 3 drops peppermint essential oil, bay leaves and rue, a black stone, obsidian, tourmaline, or ix. Instructions: prepare an infusion with the herbs and pour it into the water. Immerse the stone in the bath. Enter saying, I discharge the foreign, I release the murky. What is not mine dissolves. Dark gold does not touch me, and the hidden price I return to the abyss. Afterward bury the stone in the earth for 3 days. 5. Talismans for economic defense. The talisman of just judgment. Draw the following seal on a piece of parchment or cotton paper. In the center, write your full name in red ink. This symbol, the Eye of Horus inverted inward, represents internal vigilance over all economic transactions. Keep it in your workspace or near your documents. Do not show or lend it. It acts as an invisible guardian of your economy. 6. Essences and perfumes for psychic blocking. Before important economic meetings, anoint your wrists, neck, and temples with this blend. 3 drops sandalwood essential oil, 2 drops bay essential oil, 1 drop clove essential oil, 1 drop patchouli essential oil. Dissolve a salt crystal and recite, I am untouchable by fear, opaque to others' greed, transparent to just judgment. May this perfume be your field and render your vulnerability invisible. 7. Protection prayer before a transaction. I am the magician, the field where gold moves with consciousness. I do not sign out of fear. I do not negotiate from urgency. I do not receive without presence. All that enters be mine. All that is offered be clean. All that touches me be fire of ascension. Repeat this silently, standing upright with your back straight before any operation. It is your vibrational armor. 8. Closing energetic portals. After any intense day of financial movement, close the open portals. Rub your hands with salt water, shake your body, say, I close the open paths, the seals are firm, no invisible debt will cross my night. I rest in my center, and so does my gold. This simple act prevents energies from leaking while you sleep or dream. Protecting yourself is not paranoia, it is energetic hygiene. The magician who opens to wealth without spiritual armor is like a warrior entering battle without a shield. Gold does not reward the naive, it reveals what you vibrate. If you vibrate in fear, you attract plunder. If you vibrate in strength, you attract tribute. If you vibrate in light, gold kneels. Do your will shall be all the law. Love is the law, love under will. Chapter 14, Money and the Egregore of Poverty. Many are not poor because of a lack of gold, but because of an invisible pact with the shadow of the beggar. Liberpa peritatissa. For the profane, poverty is a material circumstance. For the adept, it is a vibratory state sustained by an unconscious psychic pact. There exists a collective entity, a vibratory intelligence formed by silos of renunciation, guilt, victimhood, and false spirituality, the egregore of poverty. This chapter reveals the nature of this entity, its mode of operation, and above all, the rituals and decrees necessary to break the vows of scarcity and liberate the psyche from the archetype of the martyr, the spiritual beggar. Whoever has not broken this pact is doomed to impoverish their power every time they touch gold. 1. What is an egregore? An egregore is a collective thought form. It is an autonomous energy field fed by the emotions, beliefs, and repetitive acts of multitudes. It is not a mere symbol, but a real, living, operative entity. The egregore of poverty has been cultivated by monks who took vows of misery as a path to the divine, mystics who confused humility with self-annihilation, politicians who revered scarcity as a moral virtue, families that glorified effort and demonized ease, individuals who felt purer the more they lacked. This egregore inhabits temples, homes, schools, genealogies, and bodies. Its nourishment is guilt, fear of success, misunderstood sacrifice, and constant comparison. Its purpose to prevent the soul from embodying its material power. 2. Symptoms of possession by the egregore of poverty. Rejection or discomfort when receiving money without effort. Constant failure when starting ventures without visible cause. Feeling unworthy of prosperity. Guilt for charging for your service or art. Need to sacrifice to be validated. Hidden disdain toward the rich. Economic self-sabotage whenever growth begins. Attraction to environments or relationships that impoverish you. These symptoms are not personal flaws, but evidence of invisible, unconscious pacts with the egregore. 3. The archetype of the martyr and the spiritual beggar. The spiritual martyr believes that the more they suffer, the more they will evolve. They refuse to enjoy the fruits of their path, confusing renunciation with redemption. They tend to serve everyone except themselves, feeding poverty with devotion. The spiritual beggar demands without building, asks for light without giving work, clings to the wound to avoid growth, blames the world for their lack, despises money but desperately needs it. Both dwell in the collective unconscious. Both must be exorcised without hatred but with firmness. 4. Ritual to break the pact with the egregore of poverty. Materials: black candle to absorb, gold candle to activate, blank sheet of paper, red ink, a cord or thread, black or white, a valuable object representing your future prosperity. Procedure: write on the sheet with brutal honesty every phrase you have repeated related to poverty. I don't need much. I don't want to be rich, just happy. Money corrupts. I don't deserve so much. If I charge, they will reject me. Add all that come up. Roll the sheet into a cylinder and tie it with the cord. Place it in front of the black candle and say, "This is the pact I never signed. This is the voice that does not belong to me. Today I untie the thread. Today I break the spell. No more sacred poverty, no more martyrdom." Away. Burn the cylinder. While it burns, light the gold candle and raise the valuable object, saying, "I open myself to clean wealth. I am the channel of pure gold. My success is my service. My prosperity is my decree." Keep the object on your altar. From today, it will be your totem of freed abundance. 5. Daily decree of liberation. Repeat for 21 consecutive days at dawn. I'm not my past. I'm not the voice of scarcity. I do not follow the path of the martyr. I deserve to grow. My wealth is just, clear, and necessary. My success honors the light that dwells in me. The egregore of poverty no longer possesses me. I am free and I flourish. This decree not only reprograms your mind, but disconnects your vibratory field from the collective egregore. 6. Magical action against the vow of poverty. The spell breaks by acting. Once the ritual and decree are complete, you must do a concrete action that contradicts your old pattern. Buy something valuable without guilt. Raise your prices if you sell. Accept a gift without justification. Reject a poorly aligned collaboration. Say no to those who use your generosity to keep you small. Invest in yourself. Each of these actions fractures the egregore's network and creates new reality lines. 7. Recognizing wealth as service. Breaking poverty is not becoming greedy. It is accepting that your soul deserves support, expansion, and abundance to manifest fully. True spiritual wealth does not exclude the material. It integrates, honors, and consecrates it. Well-used gold does not corrupt you, it empowers you. Aligned success does not lose you, it expands you. Poverty is no longer your teacher. It has shown you what it came to show. Now it is your turn to flourish. Break the vow, break the mask, break the nostalgia of suffering. And may your soul, upon touching gold, bless it, because it knows it is even more valuable. Do your will shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Chapter 15. The inner gold manifests your true wealth. The gold that endures is not in the hand, but in the heart that generates it. It is not possessed, it emanates. Libera Urium Solaris. After having purified, consecrated, ritualized, protected, and liberated the economic flow in its multiple planes, the magician reaches the true summit of their journey, the union of their outer wealth with their inner wealth. This is the point where one no longer seeks to have in order to be, nor desires to fill voids, but wealth springs forth as the natural radiance of the inner sun, the true, awakened, and sovereign self. This final chapter reveals the art of integrating finances, mission, and soul, so that every economic act, every creation, and every material manifestation become living extensions of your essential being. This is the ultimate goal of financial magic, the solar alchemy of existence. 1. The inner gold more than a metaphor. We are not talking about self-esteem, positive motivation, or beliefs. We speak of a vibratory core, real, immutable, eternal, that dwells deep within the Mabo, the central sun of being. The ancients called this sun Mesama, Atman, Ein Sof, Keter, the inner Christ, the holy guardian angel. This inner gold cannot be bought, soiled, or entirely forgotten. It can only be recognized, activated, and radiated. And when it radiates, the entire universe begins to respond. The right opportunities arise, decisions flow effortlessly, money comes through pure channels, debts dissolve, abundance becomes a state, not an event, because the outer world can only reflect the vibratory charity of your inner sun. 2. The Trinity of True Wealth. For outer gold to reflect inner gold, 3 fields must unite. Finances, your structures of sustenance and expansion. Mission, your conscious purpose in this incarnation. Soul, your divine, eternal, and sacred center. Dissociation between these 3 creates chaos. Finances without mission become empty, disconnected, destructive wealth. Mission without finances leads to exhaustion, frustration, and futile sacrifice. Soul without expression results in spirituality without flesh or legacy. The solar magician unites the 3, lives what they believe, earns from their essence, and expands their soul through material creations. 3. Ritual of unification, the triple flame of abundance. Objectives: synchronize finances, mission, and soul into a single vibratory field. Materials: 3 candles, gold, white, and red. 3 symbolic objects, 1 representing your finances, a bill, card, contract. 1 representing your mission, a pen, tool, artwork. And 1 representing your soul, a talisman, symbol, or stone, a circle drawn with salt or light. Procedure. Place the objects in a triangle with the candles behind them. Light the gold candle. Finances. Say, may sustenance flow from a pure root. Light the red candle. Mission. Say, may my creation be a living offering of my inner fire. Light the white candle. Soul. Say, may my essence be in every act, every word, every coin. Stand at the center of the triangle with open arms and declare, I now declare my inner gold as source. My acts reflect my soul. My money serves my mission, and my mission is an extension of my divine being. I am one and I am channel. I am the sun. Remain silent and allow the energy to unify. Perform this ritual whenever you feel scattered, unfocused, or in economic vibratory decline. 4. Life as work, wealth without division. When inner gold travels through action, there is no separation between work and purpose, between economy and spirituality, between having and being. All life becomes ritual, channel, mirror. The magician earns money, generates reality from their solar center. The magician sells things, shares frequency. The magician does not charge. They receive in balance for what they deliver with devotion. All is one line. All is one flame. 5. Wealth not as reward but as state. You should not do all this just to earn more. That is a trap of the ego. You do it because it is right, aligned, beautiful, and as a natural consequence, wealth comes. It comes because your field is open, your word is clear, your channel is clean. Do not wait, do not demand, do not control. Radiate, and what you need will come. What does not serve you will move away, and what you are meant to be will be. 6. Final mantra of the solar magician. Repeat this decree every morning, facing the sun, holding a golden candle or your personal symbol. I am the inner gold. I manifest effortlessly. My wealth is my essence in action. My mission is my open treasure. My soul is the fire that sustains my creation. So be it, because it already is. You have reached the end of this path, but this end is only the threshold of the true beginning. The magician who has transmuted their relationship with money no longer fears gold. They do not reject it, nor worship it, they emanate it. May your life be testimony to the balance between heaven and earth, between sustenance and spirit, between giving and receiving, between your will and the flow of the universe. The inner gold is awake. Ah, make it shine, and do your will shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.